Emily Zlanian with TVinsider.com, and I'm here virtually with Jackson Galaxy, cat behavior and wellness expert and host of My Cat from Hell on Animal Planet. Thank you so much for joining me, Jackson.
It's my pleasure.
Now, there's so many people quarantining with their pets right now, and they have been for a couple months now, but what is the biggest piece of advice that you find yourself constantly dishing out to people that are home 24/7 now with their furry friends?
I mean, I think part of it is the same advice I would give them for their human family, which is just calm the hell down. Just bring it down. Because honestly, and we do it everywhere, that because we're locked in together, the energy is just, if we don't look out, just vibrating at a higher level. And cats are energetic sponges. They soak it in. And if we don't watch out, they push it back out again. I think it's just really important to be mindful and to be extra caring of the others in your home, whether they've got 2 legs or 4.
Nice. Very well said. Now, you have a quarantine special coming up, which you mentioned, July 18th. What was the biggest challenge to shooting this quarantine special that you shot from your own home?
I'm going to say, you're looking at it. That was a challenge, man. I mean, I get so much of my information by touch, by energy, by just being in a home and not my home. That's been a challenge. And but on the other hand, there was an opportunity that by doing it virtually, having cameras, having the Guardians actually place cameras, surveillance cameras around the house, and getting a much more natural look at the home was an advantage to me. I mean, you can't forget, when I go into a house, usually I'm accompanied by a dozen people. And anybody with a cat, and I saw you got one right there, anybody with a cat, if a dozen people walked in your home right now, your cat would be under the couch, So yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, that's a good point. How long were you surveilling these people for? Because I know that we see you kind of check in at different points throughout the stuff with them. How long did they have these cameras set up for?
Well, I mean, normally when we do My Cat from Hell, the time between hello and goodbye is usually about 6 weeks, 5.5, 6 weeks, which is what it would take for change to happen. We had a couple of weeks on this one. We were really doing this on the fly. What you see in this show is seriously real. It was a couple of weeks that we were always surveilling them for that time. Trying to be mindful of that as well. But it was fun. It was fun to just sort of, I don't know, surveil bomb on them.
A lot of people are fostering or adopting right now, which is amazing. I know. I know people are doing it right now. It's amazing. What should people do if they want to foster or adopt a cat at this time to their home or to their space to get ready?
I mean, there's a number of things that you can do. I mean, first of all, number one, if you reach out to your local shelter, or in this case, a lot of times the local rescues, you're going to get set up pretty quickly. There's also different resources available to you. For example, is called stayhomeandfoster.com. And by going there, you just enter your name and you're matched up with someone in your area. So that's pretty easy. But once you've determined that you want to do this, and congratulations, that's amazing. You're saving lives immediately, because we got to remember, many shelters closed. With the shutdown came the shutdown, and we had animals stuck in shelters, and people stepped up in record numbers, but get your space ready. I'm a big believer in what I call base camp. And it's even more important with fosters, because there's a quarantine period you gotta adhere to, so that you're not inadvertently passing on anything that these guys may have come in with to your animal family. So testing gets done, blood tests get done before they ever come to you. Now, if of course they come from a rescue that's already done that, I quarantine anyway, just for social purposes. And that way you get to know your new family member, temporary family member sometimes, in their own space. They get confidence by owning that little chunk of real estate. Don't forget, these guys may have been in a cage for months. So the second they come into a room, even this size, it's a challenge for them. So give them time to adjust and don't expect much for the first couple of days. There could be some shell shock. But last point, I know you weren't expecting this, but last point, the job that you have a job as a foster parent. That is to foster cat mojo. That is to bring up the confidence. That is to make sure that when they leave your care, that they are just like, bring it. I am Super Cat, hear me roar, so that when they go into a new adoption area, they'll get picked up like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's amazing to see how many people have been taking these animals out of shelters and giving them these incredible opportunities. As my cat is literally reaching out for my attention right now.
I see a paw. I see the toe beans.
Yeah, this is her normal habitat.
Who is that?
June. As people start heading back to work, which we're starting to see a little bit of, and they've been spending 24/7 with their animals, what advice do you have for the people that need to readjust their cats to their new normal again?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that if you expect that after, what is it now, 4 or 5 months of being home 24/7 or close to it, and then you just up and go to work again, your cats are not going to respond well to it any better than they did when you first interfered in their life a couple of months ago. You just don't want separation anxiety to kick in. So one of the hints that I've got is start going through your morning routine again. It's good for you and it's good for them to get up, pretend you're going to work, and then leave the house for 15 minutes. Go take a walk around the block, come on back in. Expand those walks just a little bit. Leave the house a little bit more, of course, safely, but just get them ready from the standpoint of their circadian rhythm. Cats are slaves to routine. They're slaves to the day itself and the motion of the sun. If those things go completely out of whack and fast, a lot of times you're going to see a little bit of energetic rubber banding happening, and that's your cue to just be proactive.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for hopping on Zoom with me today.
My pleasure.
My cat from hell, you're special. Cat crazy.
Woo!
July 18th on Animal Planet at 9/8 Central. Thank you so much, Jackson.
My pleasure.